So last night, Sean Hannity aired his sit-down with the world's most powerful man, and the president was there, too. In a co-interview, Elon Musk and Trump talked about their relationship and tried to squash any rumors that there's trouble in paradise. Watch.
I know, I love the president.
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man, and he's, you know...
It's nice the way he said that, you know? There's something nice about it.
It really is.
Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely.
He's your tech support.
I actually literally am tech support.
Than that. Yeah.
I literally am tech support, though.
But he gets it done. He's a leader. You know, I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, they should have aired this on Valentine's Day. But wait, there's more. A man from Trump's past is not going quietly. His former White House chief strategist, Steve Bannon, remember him? He's lashing out in a new interview saying, quote, Musk is a parasitic illegal immigrant. He wants to impose his freak experiments and play act as God without any respect for the country's history, values, or traditions. That's from Bannon. So will Bannon break up the happy couple, and who's going to get the rose? Tune into The Bachelor DC edition. What do you say, girls?
I hate to say it, but I agree with Steve Bannon on this one, purely because, you know, they're cutting all these programs. They're saying they're going to cut the fat, and they have numbers. Before they ever went in, they said, we want to get $1 trillion out. That's a businessman's approach to a government. This is the public sector, not the private sector. You don't come in with numbers, and you come in, you learn, you become an expert at what everyone's doing, what their role is, who's essential. And then you say it's realistic to have this goal, and then you cut the fat. The thing that Trump's not doing, though, is he wants to keep some of the tax cuts he had originally said. And what Bannon stands for, which breaks with Elon Musk, is don't tax overtime, don't tax Social Security, don't tax... Give the money to the people that need it the most.
Who, Bannon says that?
Bannon...
Wow, that sounds like a lefty.
Why do you think I said I agree with
populist.
Steve Bannon? That rarely happens. But on this, I do agree with him. Trump ran on helping the people that voted him in. And what he's doing is he's in there now, and he's breaking in the corporate greed area, which is I'm going to give tax breaks to people that can afford it more than anyone else. Steve Bannon says... It is going to hurt for all of us. We all got into this together. You need to give the breaks to the lower and the middle class. Stop slashing and helping the top. They don't need more.
Sounds like Bernie Sanders also.
I know. This is when I Bernie out.
The problem that I have with this is that Elon Musk is an unelected official.
Right.
He's unelected. We did not vote for him. And he's created, Elon Musk, along with the president, a government agency with no congressional oversight. Under our Constitution, that is illegal. It is just illegal, right? And so, and if you don't want to listen to me, then listen to Scalia, who is a darling of the right. In 1976, Scalia said that you cannot create this kind of agency by executive order, which is exactly what Trump did. And you can't create a government agency without, you can't have a presidential appointee head of a government agency without an officer confirmed by the Senate, by the Congress, or supervised by someone who was confirmed by Congress. So take a look at this clip, because there's a congressperson from New York that gets it.
What kind of background checks or transparency into the background of Mr. Musk or the people that are working for him has been done? Mr. Sepp, do you know how these people were vetted?
No.
Mr. Ladwa, do you know how they were vetted?
No.
Ms. Kochelecek, do you know how they were vetted?
We have not looked at these specific individuals.
Ms. Olson, do you know how they were vetted?
No.
Mr. Dubois, what's he doing?
I don't know what he's doing.
You don't know.
I
Okay,
think he's
Mr.
looking
Sepp, do you
at...
know what he's doing?
No.
Ms. Olson?
No.
Does anybody here know what they're doing? There's a pesky thing, called the United States Constitution, and it has the responsibilities of the United States Congress in the oversight and power of the purse.
He's a Republican?
He's Swazi, a Democrat from New York, who gets that there's this pesky thing called the Constitution that doesn't allow this. And so there are 2 lawsuits right now that are going to wind themselves up probably to the Supreme Court. And I think that the Supreme Court is going to side with Scalia, their God, and say, you know what, Musk,
We'll
get out.
see.
You can't
We'll
do it.
see about that.
Well, and
What
we're
about-
going to hear later in the show from someone who sits on the committee that oversees DOGE, because there is still oversight within Congress, but there's a lot of unelected, sort of unappointed people, obviously, running the agency.
Heading it.
What's fascinating to me is I think that there's sort of this narrative that Elon Musk is the shadow president and Donald Trump is kind of taking a backseat. Actually, knowing Donald Trump, see it very differently. I think he loves that the wealthiest man on the planet is essentially an unpaid staffer for him. But where I think that this relationship could end up breaking down the road is that Donald Trump was elected on some very clear things. Bring down the cost of living, bring down the cost of groceries, secure the border. It was not gutting entire federal agencies, maybe making it harder to get your VA benefits, maybe making it harder to get your Social Security checks. And when that starts becoming more and more unpopular, Elon Musk has a much lower approval rating actually than Donald Trump does with the American public. He's going to scapegoat him, and he will kind of have the right to do that. So I think that there's this period that we're going to see in the next couple of months in this country where the effects of these broad-based slashing of the federal government, we actually feel it, because I think government's too big. I think we can shrink it. I think we can cut waste. But there are roles for government. There are things that are supposed to be there, and we don't know what is getting cut and why. Just once again, I feel like every day there's a new stat of something DOGE puts out that's just not true. They claimed that they ended a contract that was $8 billion to the Department of Homeland Security, from the Department of Homeland Security. Turns out it was $8 million. That's a lot of zeros of a difference, and that kind of thing matters. So there's a lack of specificity, a lack of details, and they owe it to the public, because it is going to drag down Donald Trump if suddenly basic goods and services people rely on.
And only
And they'll
private
turn.
business
They'll turn.
and corporations cut numbers and bottom lines with no idea or care for the people involved. Government is a different place. It's the public
And
sector.
this is what this country wanted. They wanted a businessman, even though he's a failed businessman.
massive part of the
They
country
wanted a
didn't vote
business
for this,
guy,
though.
Let's
you
not
know?
forget to remind people that he bankrupted a casino, Trump. Nobody does that. Who does that?
nobody
I work,
does that.
we go to the casino, right, babe? Yeah.
3. Yeah, he bankrupted 3.
But you know, I was reading something about turtles. When you put turtles in an aquarium and you don't feed them for a while, they will start to eat each other. That's what's going on right now.